probably thinking, this is taking a really long time. Well, if I had a watch, I'd be looking at it. You're right, it does. Words are the wise. You notice it's dark outside. Probably can't see me too well. Whew. This is taking a long time. Always give yourself at least 5 hours before dark. I would suggest 6. Because this process really does take 5 or 6 hours. But I have been letting my pot boil for 15 minutes. Well, I've been letting it boil for 15 minutes, so I need to add my first set of hops. I have to go inside and get the ground back.
Hops!
Now, follow me inside. I will show you one of the coolest inventions that has ever been made. If I throw these hops in there, I'm going to leave that unintended. I've been watching all day. I'll be fine. If I were to throw these hops into that pot right now, these are what are called hop pellets. And again, they're Columbus, which is a 14.4 hop pellet. If I were to throw them in there right now, they're hop pellets, which are basically compressed hop leaves. They would open up into the hop leaves that they are and float around in there. Is that a problem? Actually, no. It's no big deal. The thing is, when you're done with everything, you have to filter those out because you cannot have hop pellets floating around in your beer. So, what am I looking for? It's what's called in the brew store hop bags. Now, fitting right here. They usually come 3. It's like $1.50 for all 3 of these.
They look kind of like little socks.
They look a lot like little socks. Thank you, wife. They look a lot like little socks. Alright, I just untie these like so. Again, I said they said 3. I only need 2. Bittering flavor, or bittering aroma. Again, I'm going to open this up and get a close-up here, hon. Little bag, looks a lot like a sock. Don't put it on your foot. I'm sure it's not comfortable. Now, this here, remember I said I bought 1 ounce of Columbus hops, which is a 14.4 hop, IBUs. This is 0.6 of that 1 ounce. By the way, since I mentioned it, here's the scale I'm talking about. Target scale, $20, maybe $30. Not expensive. It's got an ounce feature.
Inexpensive.
Make sure you've got a pound feature and an ounce feature. Most scales do. They're the most useful. Alright, so all this is doing is it's holding my hops in place so they don't go floating around. Alright. If I use this, I don't even have to filter my wort. Because remember, the grain's already been filtered by the grain bag. So if the hops are filtered by the hops bag, no reason for me to filter. Alright. Now, if you were a super cheapskate, you could save 30 cents and try to clean this out and reuse it, but really people don't. The hops oils are going to be caught in there. They're going to affect the next batch you make. Tie it in a knot and be done with it. I am going to throw this in my boiling wort. Come back out there with me. I'm going to throw this in my boiling wort and I'm going to forget about it. Well, for 45 minutes I will. By the way, when we're making grains, remember grains are in there. Eat the grains. Put them in your mouth. Eat them. They're actually really good. It gives you an idea of the flavor. The thing about beer is you always want to know what you're making. Now, I made the mistake of eating hops once. Don't do that.
Ugh.
Smell them. Very strong, distinctive smell. Now, since this is only 0.6 ounces for the flavoring, it's not going to make a big difference. I'm going to throw them in there. That's all I did. I threw them in there. I stirred. Can you set your timer for 45 minutes starting now? Okay.
2 iPhones.
Yes, because we're super trendy. Remember that this... So far. We're going to change our time for 45 minutes. I think a little extra boil never hurts. Now, that said, let me give a disclaimer. A little extra boil with hops in the wort hurts big time. Okay, so if you've been boiling this for 15 minutes, you forget about, let's say you've been boiling this for 30 minutes, you forget to throw the hops, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot the hops. Throw the hops in and start your boil at 30 minutes. Or throw the hops in and start your timer at 45 minutes for this recipe, rather. And now, if you've already thrown the hops in, instead of 45 minutes, it's been boiling an hour 15 minutes. Take it off the boil immediately. Go ahead and put in the carboy and ferment it. But there's a good chance it's not going to taste right. There's a good chance it's going to be too hoppy. Because the longer you boil hops, the stronger they get. I mean, when you're talking about 5 minutes for the flavor or the aroma hops, it's not a big deal at all. That's pretty negligible. It's just going to affect the aroma or the smell. But this 45 minutes, the difference between 45 minutes and 50 minutes, and especially between 45 minutes and an hour, is huge. You will notice the hops. They will overpower your beer, and it will make a great beer into a okay beer if you boil them for too long. And yeah, 15 minutes does that. Okay, so I've thrown this first part of hops. Remember, that's 0.6 ounce of Columbus hops, which is a 14.4 hop, and I put that in there. I'm going to let that boil 45 minutes. Now, the whole thing's boiling for an hour. 5 minutes before I'm done, I'm going to throw in 0.4 ounces of the Columbus hops for aroma. It's not normal that aroma and flavor and bittering are the same hop, but for this one, simple recipe, I'm going to keep it simple, and they are the same hop. So I'm just going to let this boil 45 minutes, and I will see you guys back. YouTube time, 0 minutes. Real time, 45.